Good morning, hello and welcome to Little Likac podcast. This is episode 30. I've actually double checked the numbers for once. So yes, it's episode 30. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Amanda and this is a knitting and crochet podcast coming to you from Derby in the UK. So yes, it is a Sunday, May the 29th, 2022 and I've got lots to share with you this morning. I'm going to be honest and say I haven't got any finished objects, and the actual amount of knitting work that I've done in the last couple of weeks has not been as much, so I haven't got as much to show you progress wise with knitting, but I have got lots of knitting and crochet content to show you because I went to a yarn festival yesterday, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I did record some video. I'm going to show you some of the things I bought from there. I did buy some yarn, but I was also looking at accessories and things like that, so I'll be able to show you some of those that I bought. I am going to be giving you news of a new make-along that is going to be happening in June. A little bit of a heads up as well about Christmas in July, so you can start thinking about preparing for that. And a reminder about a prize draw that is happening for my newsletter subscribers. So yes, there's lots to tell you about, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or maybe a G&T, whatever suits you, glass of wine, whatever suits you, and a crochet project or a knitting project or whatever crafting project you like. Yeah, come and join me. Okay, so what should we start with? Well, I guess I'm not going to start with any finished objects because I don't have any finished objects to show you, but I'm going to show you what I hoped was going to be a finished object. Oh, I haven't done the way you can find me, because I was going to say, if you've been following me on Instagram, you might know a little bit of the story behind this. So let me just do the where you can find me. So yes, my name is Amanda. I run the little business Little Likac Yarn. So I am on Instagram as Little Likac Yarn. I'm on Ravelry as Likac66. You can email me if you want to at littlelikac@gmail.com. And you can also find me on Etsy, of course. Yeah, I have an Etsy shop, Little Likac Yarn. I will put links to, I'll put links to all of those below, but what I actually tend to do is I put one link, which is kind of my link tree, and that takes you to a little page where you can then follow the links to any of those things. We do on Ravelry have a Ravelry group for this podcast, and I'm hoping to get that moving a little bit this month or in June with the new make along, because it'd be great if people want to chat on there and show what they're making on there for the make along. But you don't have to use Ravelry, you can also put that onto Instagram. Just think with Ravelry, if you do use Ravelry and you have a go at the forums, it can be a little bit more interactive. Yeah, so that's all the places you can find me. So if you do follow my Instagram, you will have seen the ups and downs of the test knit I've been working on for the Moonglade tee. And in reality, this all comes down to Amanda being way too, what's the word I want? Way too ambitious, and also not reading properly. Which is ironic, as I am an English teacher and I am always telling my students to read things through carefully and follow instructions carefully, and I didn't. Okay, so last weekend I got it into my head that I could finish the Moonglade. If I really pushed myself, I could finish it to wear on Saturday, yesterday, the 28th of May, to wear it to the Yorkshire Yarn Fest. And one of the reasons I really wanted to wear it then is because the designer, Kelly Menzies, who's also known as Roro and Cades, was going to be coming to Yorkshire Yarn Fest, and I was going to be meeting up with her. And she said she was going to wear her Moonglade, and I was like, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be great if I could finish my Moonglade? And I looked at how much, I looked at the total length of the tee, and it was about 22.5 inches, and I worked out where I was up to. I can't remember what it was. I was up to about more than 6 inches. But I kind of tried to do some calculations, and I went, right, if I knit 2.5 inches every day, and then I thought I've got to give time to block it. If I knit 2.5 inches every day, in theory I could have it finished Thursday night, block it Thursday night, and it would have all day Friday to dry and be wearable on Saturday. That was the plan. To be honest with you, on 3.5mm needles, fingering weight yarn, that was going to be a struggle anyway, and then the last couple of inches is lace, so you have to concentrate. So in reality that was always going to be difficult. But you know me, I like a challenge. So I was like, I can do this, I can do this. And on Wednesday night I was onto the lace and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I am just, you know, bossing this. I'm going to have the lace I had the lace finished on Thursday night, the bottom section of lace. And I finished the lace, the last row of the lace, at about quarter to midnight on Thursday night. No, quarter to midnight on Wednesday night. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. All I've got to do tomorrow evening is the ribbing on the bottom and then the finishing off on the sleeves. Aren't I awesome? Haven't I done that really quickly? This is going to be great. And it looked beautiful. And I kind of held it up and I thought, looks a bit short. Doesn't look like 22.5 inches. And I held it up to me and I went, oh, that really looks cropped. Sure, it shouldn't be that. And I measured it and sure enough it was only about 17 inches, and I thought, okay, I know I've still got an inch of ribbing at the most and then blocking, but there is no way this is going to make it to 22.5 inches. And I measured again and I measured again and I looked back at the pattern and I was like, what have I done wrong? Yes, I had absolutely messed up. So it told you after you'd done split for the sleeves, it told you to knit for so long and then do an increase round. And then after that increase round, it tells you again to carry on knitting for another certain amount of inches. And I had completely missed that. So I've done my increase round and then gone straight into the lace, which was wrong. So that's why it was short. So I went to bed Wednesday night really upset, and I messaged Kelly saying, do you mind if I do some more lace? Because I thought I was only going to be 2 inches short. Do you mind if I do some more lace? And she was like, yeah, no, that's fine. And then I woke up Thursday morning and I thought, no, that's not really fair. It's a test knit. I really should knit it so it looks what people expect it. You know, I thought that's too much of a modification. That's not fair on Kelly. And so Thursday night I put a lifeline in. I hadn't put a lifeline in anywhere on the lace because I'm going to say it's not even that I'm that great a knitter that I wouldn't need a lifeline. I'm just too lazy to put a lifeline in. But what I did was I then put a lifeline in. I went to, because I knew I was going to rip out all the lace. So where the stocking stitch was, I put a lifeline in there, which if you're not sure how you do that, you thread some waste yarn onto a needle, like a sewing needle, a darning needle, and you pick up one leg of all the stitches going round. And it just meant then when I pulled back, because I then took it all off the needles and just ripped all the lace out, and then it was much easier to pick up the stitches, and there wasn't the risk of if I dropped any stitches they weren't going to drop all the way down. So I did that on Thursday, but by then I knew, absolutely knew, obviously there was no way it was going to be ready. And in fact, even when I'd looked, I thought I'd maybe missed 2 inches of ribbing. It was more than that as well. So yeah, not ribbing, stocking stitch. So the Moonglade is not finished, but I have done a lot of work on it, funnily enough, because when I decided on Sunday that's what I wanted to do, that was all I worked on. Everything else got dropped. Nothing else got worked on at all. And I was working on the same project for like 4 hours in the evening, which is unusual for me. I might spend a couple of hours on one project and then I kind of pick up something else. But it is still a beautiful, beautiful knit, and I am still very, very happy with it. And this is how it is looking. So all the sleeve work is done, and then you can see I've got that much of the body done. I'm just thinking you actually probably can see at the moment where I picked up the lace, ripped it back. I think you can see that. Hopefully you won't see that when it's blocked. So I have still got another couple of inches to go before I get to the lace. I mean, I thought I'd missed out 2 inches. I think I've missed out about 4 inches, to be fair. I'd really missed out a huge chunk. So I have got a lot still to do. I've got at least another couple of inches, then the lace panel. But it is Sunday. I would still like to get it finished for Friday this week, Friday the 3rd of June, because I'm going to be, not at a yarn festival unfortunately, but I am going to be at Newark Jubilee Market, which also has a steampunk market, and I would really like to be wearing it then if I can. So my plan is to still be giving it some heavy love and I am off work this week, so I reckon a couple of hours a day still, Hopefully I could have it finished by Friday. But again, of course, it needs blocking, so really I need to have it finished for Wednesday, so it's blocking on Thursday and wear it on Friday. So we'll see. Watch this space, because I was very disappointed not to have it finished for yesterday, but you know, that's just how it is. The yarn I'm using is my own. It is my Premier Silk, which is 75% merino, 25% silk. And I'd only dyed up 3 skeins of this, so I do need to dye up some more of it. And put it into the shop once I have done that. I'm alternating skeins, so I've got 3 skeins in total. You can see I've only got that much left of one skein. I am alternating. That has had some, I think that's had about 30 grams of it used, 40 grams maybe. So it will use 2 and a bit skeins in total. It's a beautiful pattern. The test knit doesn't finish till the end of June, 20th of June, so I'm guessing Kelly is probably hoping to have it out very shortly after that. Certainly by the beginning of July would be my guess. So yes, that's what happened with the Moonglade, but oh, I do love it. I absolutely love it. It is so pretty, and it looked lovely on Kelly when I saw her yesterday. I haven't tried it on. I hope it fits. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yeah, so I think I need to get some of those tubular things and or put it onto some scrap yarn and try it on. I am knitting that though on my Chowgoo needles. I think I had said to you, I don't know if I'd bought them. Had I bought them? Yes, I had bought my Chowgoo needles the last time I spoke to you 2 weeks ago. So I have put this onto my Chowgoo needles. And yes, they are beautifully smooth and the cable is lovely, and the things that were annoying me about Symphony, the Knitpo Symphony needles, was some of, what's the word I want? Sometimes the yarn was catching and things, and these are beautifully smooth and I'm not having any issues. So at the moment it's a thumbs up from me for Chowgoo, definitely. I bought a couple of more Chowgoo bits at the Yarn Festival yesterday, so I think I'm going to gradually start to move over to Chowgoo. So that has had the most love this last couple of weeks, and particularly certainly from Sunday of last week through till Thursday. It was the only thing that got worked on, so it's definitely had the most progress. I didn't put a progress keeper in to show you where I was up to last time, I don't think, or maybe I took it out, so sorry about that. The other thing that did get some work on as well before I started burying my head into the Moonglade was this neon green sweater, oversized sweater that I'm doing for my daughter. So last time you saw it, I had done that 2 weeks ago, so it's only had that done on it in the last 2 weeks. So maybe this is a good time to tell you about my make along that I'm planning for June. Excuse me. I am conscious of the fact I've got a lot of whips and I feel like nothing is getting finished. And I'm getting tempted to cast on new stuff, and I'm trying to tell myself not to cast on new stuff. So my June make along, please join in with this, is going to be called the Crack the Whip make along. Ooh, don't know why that is in there. So it's going to be called Crack the Whip. See what I did there? Nice bit of pun. Okay, and I am going to focus on getting some whips finished. I have a lot of whips and I'm not going to go, oh, I'll work a little bit on each one. I'm not going to knit monogamously. That's never going to happen. But I am going to try and focus on 2 or 3 whips to get finished in June. Equally, I'm not going to say I'm not casting anything new on because I don't like giving myself complete bans. But I am going to challenge myself to maybe finish 3 whips. And this would be, so the Moonglade would definitely be one that I want to finish in June. This top would be another one to definitely finish in June. And then, I don't know, it might be a pair of socks. It might be one of my other tops that I've got on the go. So, yes, so please join in with my make-along. It's going to be called Crack the Whip. And anyway, I'll just tell you a bit of information about this sweater. So this is from Burda Knitting, which is a free, a free extra little knitting magazine that you get with Simply Knitting each month, and it comes free with that magazine. Or and this was from August last year, I think, and this is the sweater that I'm doing in this bright green acrylic yarn. It is just from Home Bargains, I think then. So it's just 100% acrylic, cheapy, squeaky alas acrylic. I mean, it is very soft actually, it's not that squeaky. I'm knitting it on bamboo straights because that was kind of all I had at the time when I cast it on, and I'm just looking for the size. It is on 5.5mm needles because it's quite a big gauge, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be absolutely fine for, there you go. So double knit yarn from Crafty Things, which is from Home Bargains, and it was a 4-pack, 100 grams, so 400 grams in total for like £4.99 or £3.99, really cheap. And yes, I need to get that finished before my daughter decides that that colour isn't fashionable anymore. So that's the second one for me to finish in June, in the Crack the Whip make along. So if you want to join in with the Crack the Whip make along, I'm going to put up some threads on Ravelry, in the Ravelry forum. There will be a chatter thread and there will be a finished object thread. You don't have to finish anything, but you will get a double entry for any finished objects. It has to have been something that was started before the beginning of June. So if you want to be smart, if there's something that you wanted to cast on, if you cast it on before the beginning of June, it will count as a whip for June. So if you don't know the acronym WHIP, WHIP is WIP, which in knitting terms, which stands, or crochet, and crochet is more than welcome in the make along, and it stands for work in progress. So it could be something that's been hibernating for a while, so it could be something that has been actually on the needles for a very long time, or it could be just something that you've just started but you think, yeah, I really want to work on that in June, maybe even get it finished or get a good chunk of it finished. So it's going to be about working on something that's already in progress, and really trying to crack on with it. Hence the nice little pun, Crack the Whip. So the hashtag will be Crack the Whip, which will be WIP. I don't know, I'll double check before I edit this whether I need to put in Likac or LL or something, because I don't know if that hashtag gets used a lot by other knitters already. So I'll double check, and I will have it on the screen below for certain whether it is just Crack the Whip or whether I have to put something else into it. It might be Crack the Whip 22 or something like that, just to make sure then that it's clear anybody who's using that hashtag is joining in with this make along. So you can put it on Instagram with that hashtag. If it's a finished object, a post with a finished object, it will get double entry. You can put it onto the Ravelry thread, and again there'll be a finished object thread, so anything goes in there will have a double entry. So if you finish something, it will get double entry, and then anything that's posted on the chatter thread, and every time you post on the chatter thread will count as an entry as well. So yeah, and if you don't use Instagram or Ravelry, but you follow the podcast and you want to join in, then email me, and if you email me something that you are working on, I'll count that, and if you finish it, email me with a picture of the finished object and I will put that in double entry. Also, what I'd really like to be able to do as well, maybe on the next podcast, is perhaps put up some pictures from Instagram or the Ravelry thread. So if you don't want any of your pictures put onto the podcast, if you just let me know in that post, or if you just drop me a message on Instagram or pop it on the post that you don't want it put up, that's fine, then I won't use it. Otherwise, you know, if it's oh, and also if it is on Instagram and you use the hashtag, I have to be following you, or your account has to be public for me to be able to see it. So so please, if you are keeping your Instagram account private, you do need to message me and let me know that it's private, and allow me to follow you so I can see it, because I want everybody to be able to join in with this, okay, or everybody who wants to join in to join in. Prizes, haven't sorted yet, but I'm going to be having a bit of a sort through my stash, and so the prizes will be some goodies out of my stash, and probably some stitch markers from my account, maybe some minis as well. So I will be putting together some prizes and revealing those next time. But I need to, when I'm off this week, I'm going to be having a bit of a sort through of my stash and things anyway. So I will pull out some things out of my stash, and there will be some minis coming from Little Likac, and probably some stitch markers or progress keepers from Little Likac as well. So yes, that is the June make along. So please join in and make along with us. Okay, so what is next? So those are the main two things that I have been working on. I had done some work on some other bits, including my Triangulum blanket, which I am going to quickly show you. So the Triangulum blanket is a scrappy blanket, and I am doing it all in rainbow colours. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is a design by Ellie from Craft House Magic. I was just pausing because I was trying to remember her surname. I think she's Ellie Jones, I think. She has a lovely podcast, and this is her design, and I'm doing it all in rainbow colours. So you knit 6 triangles to make a hexagon, and each of my hexagon is made up of red, orange, yellow, green, blue and purple. I know technically it should be 7, indigo and violet, but the hexagon only has 6. Indigo and violet or indigo and blue are pretty much the same colours anyway. So, and if you know the history of the rainbow, there are only 6 colours in the rainbow anyway. But let's not get into that. So I don't know how much I've done of this last time you saw it, because it's very difficult to sort of keep track of, because I'm not doing it row by row, I'm doing it hexagon by hexagon really. But I really love this. Each triangle takes about 3.1, 3.2 grams of fingering weight yarn. That if you buy the pattern, there is a DK version as well, or she gives you the instructions for DK. It's the same instructions, but I suppose she tells you, which needles and sizes, etc. So you can do it in DK weight or fingering weight. This one's been done in fingering weight. Some of these are scraps left over from some of my socks. So I know, for example, that's a Ducky Darling yarn left over from socks that I did last year. And somewhere in here is, oh yeah, that's my Stormy Skies left over from some socks that I knitted for my husband last year. But some of them are minis. That's from the January Club this year, Thumbelina colourway. But some of them are just minis that I had from different things. And so yes, so I put together all my minis that are of, or scraps that are of rainbow colour, and I've got a big bag of them and I'm just working through. But I was quite low in orange scraps, so that was one of the things that I looked for yesterday at the yarn show, and I will show you later on that I did get some minis that will go into this. And if anybody has any orange in particular, if anybody has any orange mini scraps, then and you want to maybe do a bit of a swap or something, and I am going to be talking about swap actually for Christmas in July, because we did a swap last year, an advent swap, and so we'll look at setting that up again as well, but that'll be for Christmas in July. So that has had a few triangles made. I probably made about 4 or 5 triangles on it, and then started focusing on the Moonglade. That's the next one that's going to go in, which is an orange one. I think that is a scrap, a mini that was given to me, sent to me in one of my swaps. So that will be, I will carry on working on that. Obviously it's a long-term project. So that's had a few triangles put in. So I think that is all my whips. I've brought down a couple of other bits, because as I say, if I'm going to do the crack the whip, what else do I want to work on? So I desperately want to finish the Moonglade tee, the green jumper. And then this, I thought about socks, because I've got quite a few pairs of socks on the needles. So the Oberon socks have had no work on them since you last saw them, but I'm thinking that could be another sock, another whip to work on and get finished in June. I won't go into detail about it this time. Hopefully next time I see you I will have done some work on it. And the other top that I would like to really work on is the Seven Senses tee that I had started on, done a lot of the lace yoke. I won't go into detail about that, but that's the other one that I would really like to work on in June. So yes, I'm going to say that again. Moonglade tea hopefully will be finished in the first few days of June. The green sweater shouldn't take long if I actually really focus on it. The really pretty Seven Senses 4-ply top and the Oberon socks. Those are going to be my targets to crack. I want to crack those in June. So join in with the make along. I keep saying that, don't I? Right. 25 minutes in, and I need to show you all my goodies from the Yarn Fest. So that is what I'm going to do next. So if you are not interested in seeing what I bought, and I say it's not all yarn, then, you know, I appreciate that some people find the acquisitions on podcasts, you know, not particularly interested, or maybe find it too tempting, whatever. So if that is it for today, then thank you for joining me and watching what I've talked about so far. Please join in with the make along. Otherwise, stick around for the acquisitions. Okay, and the first acquisition I'm going to show you is actually the last thing I bought, but it is this mug. Got coffee in it this morning. So this mug is just gorgeous. It is a purple alpaca, and it's on the front and back. And I bought it. Let's see my lipstick on there. I bought it right at the end. I'd seen it about halfway through the day at Yorkshire Yarn Fest, and when I first saw it, I literally gasped. I went, oh! And made the stall holder jump. I think she thought there was something wrong. I went, it's a purple alpaca! I went running over to it. So yes, Yorkshire Yarn Fest was held just outside York, funnily enough, yesterday. And it was at the York Auction Mart, and it was about a mile away from York University, and as you may know, my daughter's at York University, so what made it even more special was I picked her up from her university campus, and she came too, and it was her first yarn festival, and she really enjoyed it. So I have got video to show, and that includes a little video of my daughter showing what she bought as well.
Talk through them.
What have you got there, Eloise?
I've got some Aaron. It's from, oh shoot, who's it from? It's from Woolly Mama, and it's in Glad Rags. And then these were 3 minis in DK, I believe, also from Woolly Mama. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with these, but they're cute, so.
I went up with my friend Kate and Penny, who I often talk about on the podcast. They are my besties, knitting friends, and they both live close to me, and we meet up quite often. So I picked them up yesterday morning, and off we went, and we were met up with lots of other people as well. And I'm really worried about saying the names of everybody we met up with, because I'm bound to have forgotten some names. So we met up with Kelly, and that was her idea. She wanted to meet up with people it was her first Yarn Fest. Couldn't believe it. So we met up with Kelly Menzies, Row Own Kate, who has her own podcast, is an amazing designer, and I'm doing the test knit for Moonglade. And we also met with Susanna from The Green Thread, and I don't know why I was so dumb that I didn't realise, because I follow her on Instagram, The Green Thread, and I think she's test knit for me. I swear she's test knit for me in the past, and I interact with her quite a lot on Instagram, and actually it was a little while before I cottoned and realised that's who she was, so I'm really sorry about that, Susanna. So I met up with Susanna and Kelly and Emma, and I want to say Ange, and I'm sure, and then we met up with Jess from Skein and the Stitch, who'd got a stall there, and Laura from Skein and the Stitch, and I know I've missed somebody, but I have got a group photo, so I'm going to put up the group photo of us all now. So yes, you can see there were quite a big group of us, and I say I'm sure I've forgotten some names. We didn't stay together and go around the whole time, but it was just because it was quite a small festival. It's not a massive festival, and it was all in one area. You just kind of looped round. It was really nice because we kind of met up, said hello, and then we just sort of kept going around and kept bumping into each other and seeing what each other had bought and everything. So that was really nice. And then I'm just trying to think what else we did. We had some lunch there. So yes, I will show you what else I bought. So I bought the mug, but that was the last thing I bought. But I'll show you that to you first because I'm using it. So this is not necessarily in the order. I hadn't got any particular yarn that I really specifically wanted to buy, but I always like to check out the bargain buckets. Oh, which reminds me, I also met up with, or bumped into Pam. So hi Pam, who is a viewer of the podcast, and she came over and spoke to me, said that she enjoys the podcast, and in particular my bargains, my charity shop bargains, and somebody else said that as well. So I'm glad you enjoy my charity shop bargains, but I did my usual thing of checking out the bargain buckets yesterday. And so this was the very first purchase I made was actually in somebody's bargain bucket, and this was from artisticallybyamber.com, who I not heard of them before, not seen them before. I'll probably try and follow them and see if they're on Instagram. And in their bargain bucket they had a lovely mini in dusky lilac, and they had it in their bargain bucket because it got a bit there where the dye had split in the blue, and so I bought that straight away because I knew that that would go into my granny stripe blanket that I'm doing in muted colours, and I just thought it was really pretty, and that bit of blue does not bother me in one bit. So that was my first bargain, and that was like about half price for a 20 gram skein. And then I also found in Snuggly Stars, she had got her bargain bucket, and they were 100 gram skeins reduced down to £12. And I love it, absolutely love it, if I can find a sweater quantity in the bargain bucket. And so I found this, which is called Maritime, and it is 75% blue face Leicester, 25% nylon, and there were 3 of them in her bargain. And when I picked it up, I said, oh, I could probably do a you know, a short sleeve top in that. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And then I got thinking about it, and I thought, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to do some kind of vest top in it, so as a layering piece for the autumn and winter. And so since then, when I came home last night, I looked and found a really beautiful vest top. I think it's by Hokey Locatelli. I'll put the details. I'll create a card and put one of the details on there, because I am sure that that is what this is going to become. A really pretty lacy vest top. So I think that will be really nice. So they were £12 each in from Snuggly Stars, and I'm really happy with those. I think they will make a lovely vest top. So yes, those were all the ones I think that were out of bargains buckets. They were actually. I also did have one thing absolutely in mind. When I was at Wool at J13 a couple of weeks ago, I was actually exhibiting, I was next to the very, very talented designer and dyer called Jackie Bogg, and she runs her company Hot Butter Yarns, and she specialises in Fair Isle, and she just had some beautiful items. And she had a hat with her 2 weeks ago that I really liked, and I put it on, tried it on, really liked it. And she sells kits for the hats, but the kits that she had that day didn't have quite the same colours in, and she said that she could make sure she had got a kit with the right colours for the Yorkshire Yarn Fest. I said, yes, please do that, and I will definitely buy it. So I went and found her and said hello. It was really nice to see her, and I said, have you got the kit? She said, yes, I've got it. She said, but I need to show you this. And then she showed me another hat she had done that was all in pinks and purples, pretty much all in pinks and purples. And she said, I've also got this one. And I went, oh no, I don't know which one I like now, because I really like that one. I said, no, I really like that one. She said, you sure? And I went, oh. And I said, have you got a mirror? I need to try them on. And she said she hasn't got a mirror, so she said you could take them to the bathroom, take them to the toilet, try them both on and decide. So I said, yes, I'm going to do, because she said I could take a photo. I went, no, because I don't like photos of myself anyway. And then I said I want to be able to try them on and play around with them. So so I'm going to insert a little bit of video here of me trying on the 2 hats, and you can see which one I decided. So I'll put that in there. Right, so I'm trying to decide whether I should go for this hat, which is really cute, and this was the hat I thought I was going to get. However, the lovely Jackie at Hot Butter Yarns threw a total spanner because she then pointed out this one, and this is also really lovely. So I've tried this one on as well, And can you guess which one I've gone for? Which one do you think I've gone for? Yeah, it's this one. So yes, you can see I went with the pinks and purples, and it was really funny because I put on the other one first. I went, no, I do really like this. Then I put on the pink and purple one. I went, oh, yeah. And there was somebody else actually in the bathroom who came out and said, yeah, I prefer that one. And then when I put the first one back on again after wearing the pink and purple one, I went, yeah, don't like that one so much now. So this is the kit. This is the kit. Now this is the oh, hang on. This is the design, although that's not the same colours as you can see. So I've I took a picture of the colours, the colour work, which is not a great picture, but I'll insert it here. So basically, yes, I will need to follow the chart in those different colours, in the pinks and purples. So I've got the kit here. It's called the Pat and Mary Kep, and I just think it will be a lovely pattern for the autumn, winter. Really looking forward to doing that. So I wanted that kit, and I knew I was going to be, well, no, I didn't know I was going to be buying that kit, but I knew I was going to be buying a hat kit. Turned out to be a different one. So I also wanted to look at accessories. I did have some money put away for this yarn show because I got a Christmas bonus from work this year, and in 26 years of teaching, that's the first time I've ever been given a Christmas bonus. And I'd saved it because it was one of those, I don't know what to spend it on, don't know what to spend it on. And then I decided to keep it for the yarn show, so I did have a budget. Other yarn, minis. So I said then that I wanted some more oranges to go in my rainbow blanket. There's a lovely dyer called Woolly Mama, and I saw her actually at Penkridge 2 weeks ago, and she really specialises in brights and neons. So I bought these two from her as oranges to go in my rainbow blanket. But she had an offer deal, you know, if you bought 3 it was slightly cheaper, so of course I had to buy 3. So that one will go into either my Battenberg actually, or it might go in the granny stripe, but it might be a bit bright for that, in which case it will just go into the Battenberg that I'm working on as well. But those 2 oranges will go into my rainbow one, so I will now put that in with the rainbow. And okay, put that in with my granny stripe, which I have got here, but I'm not going to show you right now. Yeah, I think it will go okay in my granny stripe. And then, so there were 20 gram minis, and then there was a stall, and I think this one was Knit Me Sane. I didn't make a note, I think it was Knit Me Sane. And they had got these tiny minis, and I think they're 5 gram minis. And again, they had a deal on for the 5 gram minis. So if you bought 10, you got a discount. So I had to buy 10. So again, I got some orange. Those 2 are the same, I think, actually. And that orange to go in my rainbow blanket. So they're going in there. And then that purple will also go in the rainbow blanket. That green will go in the rainbow blanket. And then these 5 will all go in the granny stripe, because these are all the right sort of colours for the granny stripe blanket. So I got those minis as well. They're cute, really, really cute little 5 gram minis. So they all go into the 5 gram. The granny stripe blanket, 5 grams does 1 stripe. The rainbow one, 5 grams will do 1 triangle, but then I'll have enough left over as well then to do a square on the Battenberg blanket. So that was another acquisition. And then I bought, we went to, I'm trying to think what the store was called. I think it was called something like Naturally Knitting. But they also had a part of, yeah, Natural Knits, they were, Natural Knits, and they also have, also call themselves the Knitting Gift Shop, so I'm not quite sure how they're combined, but anyway, they're called Natural Knits as well. And they had some beautiful shawls, beautiful yarn, and also some beautiful accessories. So I bought, and I've seen these before at Bakewell Wool Show, and had been tempted then, and so I bought a couple of shawl sort of clips, and these are, I don't know how to describe them really. Something you can use to hold together a shawl at the front, or if you've got a cardigan that perhaps doesn't have buttons, you could use it to hold together buttons, a cardigan. I could even use it to hold together like a wrap over dress like I'm wearing today. And what they are they've got these two little it's like crocodile clips, and then a cute pretty little bit that goes in between. See? So you can use that to hold your shawl together or a cardigan together. And I bought this one with like a Celtic knot design. So let me just put that on there so you can see it a little bit more clearly. So I bought that with the Celtic knot design. Yeah, you can see the price. And I also bought a second one which had got three they're not beads, but you know, 3 links in between. And I do wear shawls, and I do wear wrap dresses or wrap over crossover dresses, and I do wear cardigans. So I just thought that these were really pretty, really nice idea. And so yeah, this one's a bit longer, so clip it a bit higher up. See, this one's got 3 flowers going across. So I think these are a really lovely idea and quite me. This one. And yeah, this one is a bit dearer because it's got the 3 charms on it, or connectors. So they are really lovely idea, and very pleased to buy those. And from the same company, they had some really pretty little bracelets, so knitted bracelets, again then just with some beads or some charms on, and they had a few different designs. And this is made with Weardale 4-ply wool, and then it's got some beads and bracelet clasps. I don't know how well you can see that, but I thought they had them on show, and I thought they were really pretty. So it comes with the beads and the clasps, and then it comes with this little bit of wool, which is really cute. And of course I did think, well, once I understand how to do it, I'm sure I could buy some bits as well to make more. So that's the colour that I've got, not surprisingly, but I thought, oh yeah, I really like that, and I'm sure once I know, now I've got the pattern, I'm sure I could make more of these and maybe make them as nice little gifts for people as well. So that was a really nice little kit that I bought, and I think that might be about it. Oh no, oh, very practical, because I like the ChildGoo. Bought a couple more ChildGoo cables, and then Penny and Kate bought me a little gift to say thank you for driving them up, which is this lovely beautiful amethyst progress keeper from Jess at Skein and the Stitch. So thank you very much to Kate and Penny for buying that for me, and it is real amethyst, so it's just beautiful. So I'm going to leave that down here because I will, oh, I could add it onto my Moonglade, couldn't I? Might add that onto my Moonglade t-shirt, tee. And that is everything I bought at Yorkshire Yarn Fest. But after we'd been to Yorkshire Yarn Fest, we did go to Costa for a coffee, and we just happened to go to a Costa where Hobbycraft was nearby. So really not interesting in this, but always useful. I just got a whole load of darning needles because I've never got needles, can never find them. So I bought some more needles. So I'm going to put those into there as well. But I never have enough needles. So yes, that is it for my acquisitions. I always like to have a quick look round, but yeah, that's it for my acquisitions, and of course the mug as well. Although Penny and Kate tried to tell me that my mug didn't really count because at that point I had spent all my budget, and they said it's a work purchase because quite clearly it goes with Little Likac, so, and the podcast. So this is going to be my podcast mug, and therefore it's a work purchase, and therefore it didn't count for my Christmas bonus money. So thank you, Penny and Kate. Okay, so any other news? Just a quick reminder that if you are a subscriber to my newsletter, then I am doing a giveaway for all my subscribers. I will be doing a prize draw, and it will be the June membership for the sock club. So if you are not a subscriber already to the newsletter, then click on the link down below and subscribe. And if you've subscribed by the 31st of May, then on the 1st of June I will be doing a draw from everybody who is on there, and I will be emailing directly to the winner. So you'll get a direct email from me. It won't be on Instagram or anything like that. I wouldn't contact you any other way than through the email. I am doing the Newark show, like I said, well not Newark show, Newark Jubilee Market on Friday this week, which is the 3rd of June. And then yeah, the next couple of weeks are relatively clear. This week I am off work, so I'll get a bit of dyeing done, but hopefully get a lot of knitting done. Then I'll be podcasting at the weekend 11th 12th of June, and then after that I will be in exam marking mode, so the knitting amount of knitting will go down. So please do join in with Make Along. Start preparing for Christmas in July, but I will talk about that again in the next podcast. And of course, actually, before I say goodbye, the next bit I will put in just a few more shots from the Yorkshire show. Anything that I haven't already included will just be at the end here. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Happy knitting. Hi Eloise.